Welcome to Cooking with Gerry. It's breakfast time and I have a very healthy, nutritious, and tasty combination of ingredients that I want to explain to you. But first, let's get the fire started. A low heat. In the frying pan, I have some locally grown grapes from a neighbor's vineyard and locally grown banana. Very special to have this opportunity living in the tropics to have this kind of fruit that's local. Inside the frying pan, I am going to put 1 tablespoon of salted butter, also from local cows that were able to live as cows, grass-fed, which is very different compared to the factory farming where cows don't get to live like cows. So that's going to heat up. Now I don't really want to cook the fruit. I just want them to get a little bit warmer so that I have a warm breakfast. Also in the frying pan here I have some nuts and seeds, walnuts, pecans, pistachios, and sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. Using a clean spoon, I am just going to put a combination. I'll put 2 tablespoons of these. That goes in the frying pan. And also here, I washed and cleaned those nuts and seeds and they soaked overnight in water. Then I drained the water, rinsed them again, and put them in the frying pan. Here I have chia seed and sesame seed. Can't wash the chia seed, so I put that directly in the jar. But I did wash the sesame seed and put that also in the jar, and they soaked as well overnight. So that's going in the frying pan. I'll put 2 tablespoons of this as well. And now I will mix a little bit. I can smell the butter. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. Here I have coarse grained pink salt. I'll put 2 pinches. And in this big saucepan I have chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans. They were washed and they were soaked in water for over 12 hours. And I switched the soaking water after about halfway, removing that soaking water and then putting fresh water. And then they cooked for about half an hour. After I had drained them again, they cooked for half an hour. A fairly aggressive boil to remove any kind of whatever the plant has for its self-protection. If you haven't heard yet or learned, a plant has a self-defense mechanism designed in the plant because it can't run away from predators. So it has some kind of chemistry in it that deters any kind of attacking from... I'm going to turn this off. I just wanted it to be warm. Deters any kind of insect or predator that would otherwise eat the plant. So that's part of the process why we soak them overnight, and part of the process why I've learned recently it needs a fairly aggressive boil. Some of the experts recommend using a pressure cooker. I don't have one and I don't want to buy one for this kitchen because I'm in travel mode. I will be leaving, going somewhere else fairly soon, and I don't want to have all these extra items to bring with me. So the chickpeas, they went in. Also, there are 2 kinds of raw peanuts. One that's local, a rainforest climate, and then one that's also from the coast, which is more a desert climate. Those are also recommended to soak overnight, but I didn't because the idea came this morning to add the peanuts. So that's in together. They boiled for about half an hour. Then I let it sit for 20-30 minutes. Drained that water, put fresh water in, and then I started to boil again, but this time I added flax seed that I had washed, rinsed last night and soaked overnight in water. And then the flax seed was in with the other ingredients for that last half an hour of the aggressive boil. And that will be part of the breakfast. There's nothing else, no salt, no oil. So I'm going to put some of this in with the fruit and seeds and nuts. But how can I do it? Let me get this clean cup, and I'm going to put 1.5 cups. That's got to be cleaned now. And then I'll mix it up. And I will add some extra virgin olive oil. About a tablespoon and a bit. And then here on my plate, already prepared, I washed, peeled, and sliced an avocado. So this is going to be my breakfast. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So here is the breakfast. Here is the garbanzo bean soup, and then here is the avocado. So very nutritious. Lots of good stuff. Excuse me, fix the camera. And please stay tuned because there's lots of leftovers. I have a few ideas of how to prepare the leftovers, but I'm not sure yet what it'll be. We'll find out when we come back for lunchtime. Alright, it's lunchtime and there are some leftovers as you saw earlier, but not as much as we had this morning because there's a friend who's staying upstairs and he came down for his late breakfast. He had an earlier breakfast, then got hungry again. So he ate half of the chickpea, peanuts, and flax and part of the nuts and seeds that were already prepared. So I have one serving of the chickpea preparation, and I'm going to add broccoli here first. Let's put about 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil, and I want to put some of the liquid from the soup. Putting the liquid will minimize the frying that will happen, and there are some flax seeds falling in, which is fine. 1 peanut. I'm not going to cook the broccoli for too long. Here I have the broccoli already cut and prepared because as I was looking through my bag of vegetables, that piece of broccoli, if I were to let it go another day, it would be spoiled. So I had to remove all the bits that were almost turning. And I put the good pieces that were left in this container already washed and chopped. And I'll put about 2 handfuls. So that's going in. And this will be for my friend if he gets hungry again in the next couple hours. So I am going to stir that around, let the oil and the bean broth get soaked up by the broccoli. I'll tell you, I'm not quite hungry for lunch, but because maybe you can tell the wind has picked up, there has been some thunder, and there are some really gray clouds over there, so I don't know if when it's time to eat, if it'll be suitable for filming. So I'm going to prepare this now, and then I can wait a little bit while the hunger returns, and I can always reheat the food if I need to. So we have the broccoli, and the other fun ingredient that I have tried for the first time yesterday with an omelet that turned into a scrambled egg, if you watched video 57. So here I have 6 quail eggs. This friend who's visiting, hopefully you can hear me over the wind, he's been living at an animal farm for the past 2 months that also works with plant medicine process. So at this animal farm they have quails, and he brought this from that farm 2 days ago, so they're fresh. And in this container I cracked open 6 of those quail eggs, and I am going to beat them a little bit with my fork. They're quite small compared to the chicken eggs that almost all of us are used to. So that's why I have 6 of them. And I am going to put them into this frying pan to cook along with the broccoli, just checking to make sure the fire's still on. Sometimes there's enough wind to blow the fire out. And there's a little bit left, so I'm going to just put some water, excuse my absence, a little bit of water, slosh it around. Don't want to waste any of the valuable quail egg. And also what's stuck on the fork. And then I'm just going to stir that around. It's a windy one. Still sunny. And then I'm going to add, this is the leftover stew that we discussed earlier. Really tasty, that breakfast that you watched earlier, and because it was so nutritious, the hunger hasn't yet returned, and it's been probably at least 4 hours. I don't know exactly. So that's going in to heat up and to mix in with the eggs and the broccoli. And then here is what's left of the pumpkin seed, sunflower seed, walnuts, pecans, and pistachios. That's going in. And then also here left over is the chia seed and the sesame seed that soaked overnight in water. Oh, I hear the raindrops. We might just get the video in time before the skies open up and the rain comes down. Hang on. Okay, I am going to go to my water bottle again to rinse off these seeds that are stuck on the jar. There we go. And a quick stir. And I'll let this cook for maybe 1 more minute. And then I'll add, I can do it now I guess. Here I have coarse grain pink salt. I am going to put 2 pinches and stir that around so the salt can be absorbed and dissolve. And lunch is ready. Easy. So I'm going to show you, I'll bring the camera so you can see what's in my frying pan. There it is, healthy, nutritious. And also important that it's tasty. So another idea of what you can do with bean stew. Other ideas I had and I've done before, making a bread or a pancake. Or I was also going to use the potato masher I have up here and make it into a puree, and it could be even a topping for a pancake. So anyways, that'll cook for 1 more minute, and you don't have to see that last minute of cooking. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you really soon.